What's up, everybody? You've got a little bit of distraction running around here, so we've got the other half this time. What's up, Joe? How you doing?
The better looking half, right? That's the deal here. That's the deal. No, I mean, I'll be honest with you. I'm probably not the better looking half at this time, but I'm happy to be here. Like, we've been talking about this for a while, right? So
Yeah.
time stands still during these trying times. So like, it's cool to get this done and talk some wrestling. Do that, I think I talk about wrestling, right? That's what I do. I talk about wrestling.
We're gonna talk about everything gaming and stuff like that. There's an open door policy. Anybody wants to hit up, DM me. We can have people coming in and out. You might have the other half pop in. Who knows? So, and you're already getting hit up by Ron Patel anyway. So, how did the nickname, before we get talking about some wrestling and stuff like that, how did the Chubby Chief nickname show up out of nowhere?
I think, and this could be completely wrong. So, my memory, not great. I think it was the show after Roman did the match where he spent 20 minutes just doing that line, right? Acknowledge me, the tribal chief, and that deal. And I think I was just waiting to go on with Jeremy. And I was sitting there and I was kind of, that's the way these ideas go, right? Like, you're doing this show.
Yeah.
Things will just come up and we're talking about this match and it's like, that'd be funny. The Chubby Chief, boom. Next thing you know, it's being tweeted all the time. It's the same thing as the point guard thing for Jeremy is ridiculous because I think that I said that as just a random throwaway, and it's now his whole brand. He has a T-shirt.
I know, right?
Well, so it's just, I think it was just a throwaway.
My ex, they do customizations and stuff like that. She created a T-shirt for me just to wear around and stuff. So it's hanging up right now in where the washer and dryer is at my house. But him having a shirt and being mass produced compared to me getting one shirt and just leaving it be is different. For me, how I got Throwback is a great story in itself. Is just that I had a buddy who we would go in his car, and do you remember the old school Jeeps, the Cherokees where literally they had the huge backseat with the tire at the end of it and everything
Right.
So he's listening to rock music and he's like, dude, you like throwback music. You like, Simon and Garfunkel stuff. This is stuff I was raised in. And he's like, dude, you're a throwback, man. You're just, you're not like any other buddy I know. And I'm like, so I used to do internet radio. And he's like, you need to be a throwback. And it just kept going and going and it just stuck. So I get how it is with all the, the Chubby Chief, and stuff like that.
Yeah, but it's bits to get through. You'll be doing one show, and it's this is one bit we're gonna do. Next thing you know, it is the show, right? That's just the way that stuff develops. You can't always see it coming.
Yeah, and especially with the whole Luther thing, the interview you guys did, guys, check it out. It was amazing. The whole skit about having you doing the microphone going like that made me laugh the entire time.
Yeah, so the microphone deal is, I changed my setup and I was in a different spot. And where I was at, I didn't have room for the microphone stand. Okay, this is literally as simple as it was. I was in that bunker setup, if you remember this. It was a one-show deal. So I did that and I was like, actually, that was funny. I didn't think anyone noticed or cared. I just said it was funny. So I then it was done with the microphone stand. This would be how I would I would do the show. And then a few weeks back, someone tweeted me and was like, is your microphone just broke? No, there's no break here. This is just how I now do the show. I didn't realize this was a unique kind of gimmick thing I was doing here. I just thought it was funny. So Lou for spotting it was quite the that was quite the feather in our cap, right? That was pretty funny.
Yeah, I was ecstatic of it. I mean, if it makes you feel any better, this is a sewing table that moves.
There you go. That's the thing, is all of these setups, what you see stationary is there's chaos sometimes going around the shot, right? People don't get that. It can be chaotic just getting your setup effectively.
Yeah, I know. It was one of those things. And when I started getting the mic and everything, my sister's like, you gotta get a real professional desk, and I'm like, and now she's like, thank goodness that you have that, because now you could just sit and relax. I'm like, It is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, our show now has been going on for what, 11 months, almost a year, and still searching for the professional setup that I assumed I would have by now. So, what are you gonna do, right?
Well, for me, this the mic stand was like $50. Like there's a whole kit on Amazon. It was $50. So the mic, the stand, and everything. And just luckily we were moving out, my sister out of my mom's house, and this table was sitting here, and I'm like, you know what, I could use that. That's good for something. The only thing that was expensive was the laptop, and that was it.
And I'm sure you go through this when you like just think about your show. Do you sometimes get those like sparks of inspiration where you kind of think, okay, let's try to make what I do here not professional, but like let's treat it seriously enough to make it look good? Because like your setup looks fine, but I will have that spark of inspiration, and I will never ever follow up.
You know what the original is? Give me until like next year. So we're moving all this stuff into the studio. This has a little back room in this condo right behind the garage. And there's a desk down there and stuff like that. There's these huge ass beanbag chairs. Let's just say this much, Joe. You and Jeremy could just literally take both of these two and literally fall asleep for hours and just be like having fun just smoking down there, and no one would notice for hours. It's got a flame light and a disco ball and all that stuff too.
So this is going to be better, then, is what you're telling me. This is
it's going to be amusing, yeah. And then there's a Dragon Ball. This is the memorial jersey I got with my mom. My ex-girlfriend framed it, and the fun part is downstairs there's going to be a Dragon Ball mural sitting down there. Literally, we're going to be framing that up this very soon. So that's once we get the soundproofing and stuff, everybody could start screaming and yelling and stuff. It's just going to be a studio for anybody who wants to come in the house and stuff.
It's interesting you say that, like me and Jeremy. It's like I often think about, and it's a weird time to think about because of everything that's going on, but it's like it's going to be wild when me and him actually get to do a show like in person, right? We've now probably done, I would guess we've done over 100 shows, I would guess. And it's just, I always just think like, what is that even going to look like in the end? So maybe now I have my answer. Maybe we're going to be doing it there. I don't know.
Yeah, that would be awesome. If not, with the whole thing is that, did you hear that they're talking about that in the States that they might have a vaccine they're aiming to release? Yeah. So if that's the case, I could just picture you turning around and be like, yeah, I'm coming over. I'm flying over into Boston. What are you going to do? I'm like, laptop here, freaking desktop there. Go ahead, use it. Do whatever you want. And Jeremy would just go up.
Distraction studio for like a week, right? Like you get a weekend of shows.
I wouldn't even care. I mean, at least there would be a flame light standing in the back of you guys, like ominous yellow lights and stuff.
It's amazing. Like we do. It's so odd because, and I'm sure you experienced the same thing because, like we were talking before we went on, and we talked about like community and stuff, and it's like the amount of hours I've spent with Jeremy this year is truly like a terrifying number when you consider we've never actually met, right? Like it's a weird thing. It's wild how much time we'll spend not even talking wrestling, because to be honest, when we're not on air, we're not talking wrestling, just talking shit effectively, right?
I have to laugh at that. That'd be awesome.
Yes.
But the studio already has a name. It's going to be called 174 Studios for where the street number I used to live. But yeah, I get about how you've spent so many hours with somebody you haven't met, but you've talked to them like this on an hourly basis. Trust me, there's a lot of conversations, me and Rob Wilkins. By the way, Rob, congratulations on doing stuff with Fightful. Rob is a contributor to the show on this. He's actually one of the people that helped me out with this. I'm very proud of him for moving up and doing that stuff. Me and Rob have conversations left and right, and literally it's like, dude, I got to get to Minnesota one of these days. I have to get up there. And it would be interesting because you got me and Rob, basically two goofballs like you and Jeremy, and it's just like, oh my god,
yeah,
it would be pure, reckless abandon hell. Eventually what I'll do is I'll get Rob in a custom jersey and see how that goes, but
Rob is I'm glad you brought him up, because it's like seeing the amount of work he's done to promote our podcast He promotes our podcast better than I do, by the way, and I'm on the podcast. So like, it was super cool to see him get like the position he got there. So Fightful is I swear, man, that team gets bigger all the time, and I'm like, I feel bad because I don't know who's on it, but I definitely now know that Rob is on the team. I'm happy with that. It's cool.
Like I always tell Sean and stuff, I'm just happy if they need me in a pinch or anything. I'm just happy to be considered at this point. I mean, a year and a half ago, I never thought I would be doing a podcast or a show or anything like that, let alone being on that review show I did with Sean. And I was just, or doing like a retro review with him. I was just like, I was just in awe and everything. And then that show that you did, the review show, the infamous review show you guys did, that basically made everything even better.
Yes, that was I feel like maybe you're better to speak on it from like the outside looking in, but to me that kind of feels like the all-time distraction, sort of like that's what those guys are about, right? Like that show was an absolute mess, a catastrophe. It was hilarious though, and it's weird. I guess that's the only show I've done with Sean. I feel there's a reason for that, right? That makes sense now that I think about it. So there you go. Not a bad legacy to have. Had one, turned it into an absolute mess, was never invited back.
I mean, it set the precedent for the distraction to be where it is now. And that's the best thing because, like the roundtables, I had the idea of doing it. I made sure everything would be right and go from there. If you want to come on, Joel, with no pants, that's fine. Jeez.
I spent, and you know this, Fred, but I spent 3 hours with Joel on Saturday night because they were doing the video game, as you saw as you were with us. But yeah, it's like I only afterwards when Joel tweeted this to me, I was like, at one point, I just forgot that Joel was, bless Joel, the professional, the veteran that he is. He just took a step back. He stepped out of the hot seat there, and Jeremy and I were talking about God only knows what for half an hour, and Joel was just like chilling, playing Smackdown vs. Raw. So Joel's a good brother. I like Joel. Yeah,
it's funny that he's still trying to write that paper after so many times, and the subject's changed so many times too. But let's get into some wrestling, and we'll talk about everybody else because we've got so many great people around us, and we're so blessed about that. NXT was really good this week. I know you're banning it on your show, but I think the main point of all is that with War Games coming up on Sunday, McAfee is the interesting point out of the entire show. And for me, it's going to be interesting to see if they actually, let him not eat the pin this time and actually let him win for once. Do you think that's a possibility?
It's interesting, right? I mean, I don't know whenever there's a deal like that, it's like you never know how far in advance they're planning his appearances and stuff. Because it feels like he way overachieved, exceeded everyone's expectations. It's like, we need to get him back, right? Is what it feels like. So my guess would be that he's the guy who takes the fall, but I don't know. So NXT's interesting, man. I mean, we have a lot of fun about it on our show, like it's banned and all that stuff. I've been rewatching it now. I've been catching up now for the last month and a half, I want to say, a couple months. And my opinions on it swing pretty wildly. I think the wrestling is great on NXT. And there are times where the simplicity of the storytelling, I think, makes it one of the better shows. But sometimes I find the simplicity makes it like a very kind of flat, cold, dry show, if that makes sense. Sometimes when NXT, the show will end, you go, that was a cool show. What was your takeaway? And it's like, I don't know. And that's the interesting about Pat McAfee is he's the one who changes that a lot of times, right? He's the guy of this incredible all-star roster. You're looking at Pat being like, there's the promo guy. It's interesting how it works out. But I am interested in War Games. And it seems that I have now been somehow pulled into doing the post-show for this event. So NXT is no longer banned, I guess, right? Unbanned forever. Right?
If I ever got pulled into something for you guys, I would love it. It would just be awesome just doing this and having Jeremy come in and just, talk about video games and stuff, especially with how rare it is in video games right now to get those two consoles. They're sold out everywhere. It's ridiculous.
So I'm not a huge, you probably guessed this as I sat and read the chat for 3 hours while the guys gamed. So I'm not a big video game guy. and I've not done I've managed to mostly avoid the kind of the excitement for like panic buying the consoles, the new next gen deal, right? So I'm pretty good at that. I've kept myself away from it. I steer clear of that excitement. I can't be doing that right now. So that's fine. Jeremy is an all-time case because I spoke to him, I want to say a week before release date. And I was like, Jeremy, you getting, next gen, you getting like PS5? And Jeremy's like, I thought about it. I don't really need it. I'm going to be patient. I'm happy as it is with the PS4, all this stuff. I was like, okay, Jeremy, that sounds cool. Makes sense to me, bro. This might have even been on a live stream. I don't know. And then next week, he's like, yes, I'm trying to prepare to pre-order this. I'm trying to get someone to get it for me while we do the show. It's like he got caught up with it. And he's not alone, right? Because even I, as someone who's way distanced from it, you see people opening their PS5 and you're like, I kind of like to be doing that, right? It's just, yeah. But I know that Jeremy definitely fell victim to the hype a little bit.
For me, it's more so I can't get my hands on one.
Right.
And I have I don't have the immediate funds, but I've saved so many points over time on purchases for like my credit card and stuff like that, that buying the Series X for me would be the equivalent of like $100. So it's like,
that makes it a little easier decision. Right?
Yeah, I know. I went to Best Buy one time and I bought a Google Home and literally it was $3 just because of how many points I had saved up on it. So it was like, it was well worth it. But wow, it's the same thing, correlation of gaming to NXT, because it feels like with NXT at some points, it's almost like a video game. It's like you're watching somebody in the background playing, Finn against, O'Reilly, or, you're waiting for a match. Like next thing you know, it's going to be Finn and Loomis, or, Grimes and somebody. I'm waiting for you guys started freaking using NXT on that stuff, right? Just to make it a lot more fun,
Is the NXT rosters I think it's so taken for granted how great the actual talent pool is, because there are guys there that have just been there for so long that people just kind of accept them as part of the furniture, right? Like I was watching because I missed so much NXT. I had to catch up on some stuff, and I asked for matches, and people sending me Roderick Strong matches, bro. And I love Roderick Strong, and I'm sitting there watching these matches, like, dude, he's just like a part of NXT, and we forget, we just sort of accept it. Of course, they have Roddy Strong, they have Kyle O'Reilly, they have all these great guys. It's just, I think sometimes when we talk about the Wednesday Night War and whatever that even means at this point, I don't know, but we probably underestimate how stacked NXT's roster is for a supposed developmental third brand, whatever you want to call it. So I agree with you. I
consider it the number one brand in WWE overall.
Mm-hmm.
It makes more sense. And then the women's division itself is if you do individual across wrestling, is the second best in wrestling overall. And I think Impact's the top one across the board.
I was kind of thinking about this the other day. It's like, I think Impact, has the stronger creative with the women. I think they do a better job of making the most of what they have, and I think they have a much more varied group of characters. Right, there's a different kind of character across the board in Impact. I think in ring NXT's women is a just ridiculous level, but that opens up a whole other thing. Jeremy and I discussed a ton recently, where it's like, what is happening? Why is, Raw being built around Lana and SmackDown has Carmella on top? And it's like, here's NXT with 10 deep, elite, top tier women. It's a weird system right now, right? Strange system.
Yeah. And on top of that, if you think about it, Bianca on SmackDown, where she would have been more suited on Raw, they've weakened the Raw women's brand compared to everything else. So, with War Games coming up, it's going to be interesting to see. I was more shocked that Toni Storm was a heel now compared to where she was about 2 weeks ago. So, you've seen a lot of this stuff she's done, and I'm excited to see what they have for her down the line, though. So that would set up somebody coming up. So do you think there's going to be a move afterwards?
I think we all thought that Rhea was going up, right? But I don't know if she can do that after that promo. It feels like you're sort of then I don't know. That doesn't feel like a babyface move to be like, I'm here to
No.
stay. 1 week later, I'm up, Maybe they had a stipulation of some kind. I don't know. But the Tony thing was interesting because I'm kind of against the idea of a turn to begin with, okay? Because to me, I think Ember is great. One of my all-time favorite female
Ember
workers.
is amazing. The Eclipse move is just
so good in ring.
Yeah, right? It's so beautiful.
Like, we were just talking then about how on the men's side, they go under the radar, guys like O'Reilly or Roddy. Like, she's that good. She's like the top as far as in ring. But as much as I like her, it doesn't seem like she connects as easily as some of the other women. So to me, I always thought, okay, you're going to have to turn one of these women heel for the sake of balance. Ember would make sense. Toni Storm as a heel was interesting because it's just like, it feels like she should be a natural babyface to me. She has like a rock star presence. And the thing that concerns me a little bit is not only did she turn, by the end of the episode, she was like just standing behind Candice, right? And it was like, it felt like she should be a more
she should be front and center. Yeah,
it feels like
front
to me.
Center.
Yeah, I don't know if that's just a me. Like, I think Candice is great, but when a character like Toni has just turned heel, I would rather she not be like, leading the pack almost. If that makes sense.
Yeah, my buddy made it a reference to Nirvana. You had Kurt Cobain in the front, which is Candice, and then all of a sudden you didn't realize how good David Grohl was on the drums and singing, and there's Toni. So I mean, that's just insane that she should be front and center completely. And if War Games for the women's side would be a showcase for her, it would have been better on Shotzi's side just because of the fact that it made her the focal point with everything. But now you're going to throw Io and Rhea into it probably tomorrow. So, I mean, it puts some weight on it, but it doesn't give like, it's like interesting, but it doesn't give me like, I need to see that War Games compared to the men's side of it.
The thing with War Games is it's one of those match types that we all agree shouldn't be like an event, right? It should be a thing you do when the angle makes sense. The problem with that criticism is it's always just been a thing that they do at that time. WCW did that for years. It would come to like September and it'd be like, okay, we're going to have to put some teams together. It's War Games, So I can't really be critical of it. I agree with you in the sense that when you look at that babyface team now, it's like, okay, this is Team Shotzi. Like, oh, sure. Like, I mean, she's great, but geez, you got Io on there, you've got Rhea, you got Ember. It's going to be, at the end of the day, it's going to be a great match because the talent pool is too good to miss, just way too good to miss. So
it could be a possibility they do the Kevin Owens route and just throw somebody on the main roster in there for one shot, because right now that just seems like you only have maybe 4 on the one side and 5. So I mean, they could throw somebody down on the main roster for a shot, and maybe I'm going to throw maybe Bayley just to prove how dominant she can be. I mean,
I wish they did more. People probably hate this because I totally get the idea of like NXT is a separate entity, right? But when you see KO get the reaction he got last year, and I get we're in a different landscape now, there will not be said reaction because there's no one there, basically, right? There's effectively no one there. But man, Kevin Owens has never come across like a bigger star than he did one night back in NXT. And I love Kevin Owens, but he was like a rock star at NXT, right? He came out.
He came out roaring out of it. And I mean, he had the NXT title and he destroyed Cena the first time he was there.
It's just, I don't know. NXT is interesting because I think there's so many things they do that I would love to see like expanded. Like, for example, they do the Dusty every year. I don't know if they've done it.
They haven't done it last year at all. I don't think.
So how much cooler would that concept be if rather than being a thing that's on NXT, it's like a weekend of events with every tag team in the whole of the WWE landscape, right? Like you have O'Reilly and Fish, you have the Usos, you have New Day, you have the UK NXT UK guys. Like sometimes, I know everyone wants it to be a set entity, but sometimes, man, there could be some great programming out of expanding that stuff and not having it be so insular. Like War Games, throwing on a main roster person in War Games is always going to be fun to me. So I'm all for that.
Yeah, and then you've got the diminished tag divisions across the board too. you need to strengthen it because you can't keep doing the same people over and over again. I mean, Vince obviously doesn't like tag teams. That's been proven.
Right.
But I mean, it's an integral part of the business. So you can't like say, I mean, a good example, look at AEW with the women's side. They're ignoring the women's side, but they have a really good tag division, a good men's division. I mean, you've got Omega and Moxley tomorrow. So, I mean, that's insane. So,
Yeah.
and then you have WWE kind of just destroying themselves, self-destructing on the tag stuff. So it's like, you know, for me now, as much it is and it stinks, I'm starting to pay more attention to Impact, but also just for WWE brands. I think that, and this is hard to say because I've watched this product for years. In Raw, supposedly the flagships, I prefer the NXT UK over Raw right now.
Oh wow, that's a major insult, man. Bruce Pritchard's closed the stream. He's had enough. No more. I don't know. I don't follow the NXT UK stuff, so I can't. Like a lot of people tell me it's a good show, so like I can't tell you wrong. So you know what I mean? It's fine for me, but the tag division thing is hilarious because when they did the draft, the latest draft. And I guess every year now they're going to just do a whole new roster, which is incredible to me. They just do a full draft every year. But there you go. In my write up afterwards, I was like, I would like to see New Day versus Cedric and Shelton. I've now seen that match like 12 times.
Mm-hmm.
I get it. You have to fill 3 hours. I understand. I completely sympathize with that. But at some point, you have to get that doing these matches over and over again it just wears us out. Like on SmackDown last week, they did the deal where it was like Dolph and Rude come out, so they want the titles, win. I'm sitting there thinking they've won the titles. They have not won the titles. It is a non-title match. Why? Why are we doing this? Now I have to watch it again and again. It's like, it's bizarre because it doesn't feel like with how many people they have, they should be able to just make teams at this point, right? They have so many guys that are doing nothing. So it is frustrating. It feels like something they could easily fix at this point.
Yeah, and knowing them, they're not going to. It's like the whole debacle with the 2K20 game. They could have just fixed it easily, and they just left it alone. So this is their tag division right now, and don't get me wrong, I'm all for Oni to being a tag champion, a South Boston guy, and all that stuff. I'm definitely been notated on the show that I'm a big homer. I mean, Sasha wrestled right about 2 blocks away when she was her indie, or when she was using her first name originally. But I'm just happy he's got a title now compared to working on it. But still, what are you going to do just to give, Ford and Dawkins something to do, or Woods and Kofi something to do, and you're going to put people together and stuff, and the only maybe 3 or 4 good tag teams that they're kind of decent are all in NXT. So what are you going to do? You're going to keep matching people who on the roster you could put together at this point on either SmackDown or Raw to make a legit threat. And you just said it. You've only got, Rude and Ziggler right now. You could probably try to give Miz and Morrison one, but they're doing something with the freaking damn briefcase. So, I mean, who else can you think of? The Viking Raiders are out because Ivar's out with injured with a neck injury.
Right. I wish they were less they're very rigid in how they place guys. Right. Like for me, if you said to me, okay, Corbin is an example. Okay, I haven't got a problem with Corbin. I would rather he not wrestle 15-minute single matches on SmackDown. Just me, Like Corbin to me would be a great tag guy. There's surely a big guy in NXT we can give Corbin in the team, but there's got to be some sense of I don't know, man. It's the way they feel like a guy has to be either all singles with no friends at all, or he's going to be in the tag team. It's like I feel you can loosen it up a little bit. I guess the big question is in that conversation is do we think the Undisputed Era are ever going up? Because if they are, then that changes one of the tag divisions, right? Here he is.
Yeah, there's a gamer king.
Yeah, I'm here.
Powerful Joel Pearl. Here he is, the king. How you doing, bro?
He just needs a crown instead of horns.
Oh yeah.
So we're talking about the tag divisions across the board. And who do you think you would have to put together, Joel, in order to get that going. There's 4 teams, kind of decent teams in NXT. Who are you going to give, Dawkins and Ford and, Xavier and Woods to, Kofi and Woods to give them legit threats? It's, obviously it's Ziggler and, Rude, but there's, other than until Jimmy gets back, with his brother, it's just who are you going to give make it a legit threat with these titles?
Okay, so you take Kushida and you move him up to the main roster, and then you take Cameron Grimes and you move him up to. No, I don't have an answer for that right off the top of my head. I would have to ruminate for a minute.
Oh, you're like a fine steak. You just gotta let it settle it in right there.
I gotta let it marinate. That's right.
I was so concerned that Joel was going to be like, okay, take Kushida, find other Japanese wrestler, tag team. I was like, bro, Joel's better than that shit. Do not do that, Joel. You didn't do it. I'm proud of you.
No, I don't play the racist card. That's a WWE trope. Thank you. Not for me.
Yeah, I mean, it's a classic. The old, these guys have known each other for years. Well, no, but cool. Do your thing.
Well, I mean, the gaming stream you guys did was really good anyways to start with. I mean, Joe did say he was reading off everything while you guys were playing. So,
yes,
having Joe was fantastic. I know you were talking about it earlier. Just being able to lay out and kind of do my own thing, just honestly, just trying to win a match while Joe was handling chat duties was great. And then, like, I had Jeremy just kind of in it, and it was great. I just had to hang out.
I was concerned because
I've got the distraction and the PW Unlimited taking over. This is awesome. I'll take this any day. I'll just sit back. And this is just like food and wrestling all over again. I just sit back and just let it go.
I was concerned because I didn't realize how many people watch the video game streams afterwards. I don't know if you did know this, Joel.
I do track it, and I am equally surprised.
Right. So I'm sitting there burying whoever else and doing just sort of talking shit. Next thing I know, someone's telling me there's 3,000 views. I'm like, I must have killed I feel like I may have killed the territory, Joel, to be honest, because I didn't realize reading chat, like in hindsight, that may not be good for people watching on delay. So I don't know.
No, honestly, we usually read the chat as we go through it. So like what you were doing was just co-hosting as an observer. You were like not playing, but being a full part of the action, which made it so much better because you could interact with people in a way that was more direct. Whereas we're trying to play and get through the matches and like just move along. Whereas you're able to do a little back and forth and handle that, which was great. I like that.
Yeah,
cool.
It made it a little bit easier, except this time I didn't get yelled at for driving and listening.
Don't do it.
Android Audio in a car. That's all I gotta say. That makes it so much easier.
As long as you're doing it safely.
We were trying to solve the tag deal, right? And before Joel came, Joel made a big grand entrance and he halted my point in motion. So I'll go back to it because I know that both you guys, from what I can gather, you're NXT guys, right? Am I right in saying this?
I wouldn't call myself an NXT guy per se. I watch it. Oh, thanks, because we talk about it on our show. But we talk about everything on our show. Hell, I'm watching Impact right now. So anyway.
Okay, NXT guy. That sounds good. That's a good answer. No, I'm kidding. But Undisputed Era. Are we conceded on this? Are they just NXT for life? Do we never even dare to risk like a main roster run? They're baby faces now, which kind of feels like the thank you little let them be cheered on the way out deal to me is like in traditional sense. But I don't think that's what it is at all to the people putting the show together. It's like, where are we at on that?
Throwback? If you want to start this.
I don't know. Ask the point guard.
Oh, no.
Hello.
Oh, my goodness. Jeremy Lambert. Nice to meet you.
His own shirt. By the way, go grab the shirt at Fightfulshop.com. But anyways, got to sell that merch for Jeremy so I can get a proportion of it. Yeah, that ain't happening.
Jeremy, you're a big NXT fan.
Love it.
What are your thoughts on the Undisputed Era going to the main roster potentially?
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to happen.
Oh. Okay.
I think eventually what they'll do is they have to bring them up, but not like kind of like what they did with the Survivor Series. eventually. They'll bring him up for just a like an invasion, like the old ECW stuff, and then just make it a little bit precedent to lift up some of these talent and then bring it down. But there's legitimately only 4 tag teams in NXT right now, and maybe 2 each that they're going to recycle and regurgitate on Raw and SmackDown right now.
There's also no point in bringing up NXT talent right now, because if you look at the pay structure, no one's going anywhere. No one's going to be moving around. Everyone's going to get a similar pay based on what they're doing, because everyone's stuck in Florida. So for them to move, NXT talent over to WWE main roster, the whole idea was, we're giving you a chance, but you're also doing the house show loop. You're also getting a bigger cut potentially. That's out.
But this is the thing that I find really and it's changing. I understand that, but Adam Cole, and Jeremy knows this because he's the head newsman. Adam Cole always made it clear at the height of his ROH run, all that great stuff, he wanted to be a guy who could say, I did WrestleMania on top of the card. That's his dream. And at some point, I just wonder if these guys are going to be like, I've been in NXT for 4 years. No one signed up. Some guys have now. I understand that. I'm sure Bobby Fish does not give a shit about what the brand is called that he's getting paid for. But it's just, I don't know. It's something to follow, I feel, right? What's the intention of these guys there? And is eventually that going to lead to guys wanting to leave because they're just stuck on a brand they haven't got any affinity for?
It's going to make it really difficult for them to further along if they don't get up to the main roster.
Right.
I think the only one who's at me saying he's never going to be up there is Ciampa, and he's adamantly said it in a lot of places. I think for right now, maybe with the pandemic being the way it is, the discussion of actually possibly moving them up might be a major thing, whereas a year or 2, they weren't even going to do it. I mean, it might be completely considered at this point.
Yeah. Ciampa's one where it's it feels like the right play for him. I don't know, for what he's trying to build there, he's probably best staying where he's at, because that's the most comfortable spot for him. I feel like the main roster could quickly lose their way on a character like that. Jeremy, what do you think about the main roster losing their way on Tommaso Ciampa?
I don't know.
By the way, before he starts, somebody needs somebody to say something back.
Oh, I love you too, DK.
In the manliest way possible. You gotta
I don't have to put that
way. I'm just helping out because he said the one way, and I figured he wanted a similar way back.
Jeremy,
I tell plenty of people that I love them. I mean, I know. Thank you. I love everybody.
Jeremy,
love. Yes, Joseph.
Would you say that Joel Pearl is an NXT guy?
Yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Were you on the media call? Are you going to be on the media call with Paul on Thursday?
Yeah, I'll be listening. Because I wasn't invited to the TK call that no one was invited to.
No one was invited. TK smashing the cold beers with Ricky Starks.
Who was on this call? Let's talk about this. No, let's get this out now.
Yeah, might as well air it out on this show. Why not? I mean, this is the PW Unlimited Distraction takeover. Why not?
Who was on this thing, Jeremy?
Meltzer, McIntosh, Connor Casey, Mike Johnson,
the All-Stars.
And that's all I know off the top of my head.
Wow, must have been a riveting chat
about the business. Had to be there.
Someone from what?
From the Torch, I'm assuming was there.
Oh, I don't know. That's just all I can remember.
Just because they've done a bunch of interviews with AEW talent lately.
I think someone from that AEW co-opted site should have been there.
The one that brings joy to everyone?
Yeah. I didn't want to say.
They're really glad that you're their friend, by the way. Did you know that? By the way, I'm going to do this on here, live on Throwback Show. I will produce a resume/CV if you would like me to run WrestleJoy. I don't know who actually owns that site, but if you would like me to run it, I will do that. You may have to pay me a lot of money, but I'll happily do it.
You need to have your headshot and resume on the same thing, like the Billy Kay.
How would I brand that move, do you feel? Would I have to put a statement out and be like, this is called WrestleJoy, which doesn't mean we're just going to avoid the fact that this is a really awful, treacherous industry in which people generally feel uncomfortable? Do I put that in the opening statement? Do I change the name to Wrestle Grimace?
Yeah, I think you change the name. I think you've got to undergo a brand name change and like a relocation. Like it's got to be like a relocation.
I'm just gonna say this now, Joe. If you get on the new station that we're gonna put out, I can't pay you. As simple as that. Unless you want it paid in like quarters from New England money or whatever.
I'm fine. I'm not a problem with getting paid. It's just there's certain gigs that I need to be paid. Like if I take the WrestleJoy gig, I need them to buy me a house. Like that's what I'm talking about. You know, WrestleJoy is like as you're putting your neck on the line at that point. But I will do it. I'll save the brand. I will be the Don Callis to their Dixie Carter. There you go, folks.
I was going to say you could be the Tessa Blanchard of wrestling, saving somebody's women's division at some point.
I don't want to be that. No, keep me away from that. My brand's bad damaged enough about that. That's bad. That'd be bad for me.
Joseph, we'll do. It'll be Wrestle Present.
Okay. It was better than my ideas because my ideas were Wrestle Grimace and Wrestle Filth, and they are probably not the best. I like that, Joel. Joel may be on board. He's my right hand man.
Yeah, take it center, and people will think that it's a present, like a gift, and then they'll also think that it's your present in the moment.
You don't have to explain it, Joe. Joel,
but I
want
want to.
He wants to. We're trying to get the gimmick over.
So since I have both of you on and Joel's here, how many more pages does he have to write to not be banned anymore or whatnot?
No, what are you at, Joel?
We established last night that I'm 23 and a half pages in.
I didn't know if you did more work today or not. So you're telling me you didn't do shit today. Well, now I'm going to add another 6 pages.
In my defense, I was looking for work.
Well, I'm trying to give you work. You got to finish this dissertation.
Paid work, you dick.
You can look. There's an easy way to get on. I can be bribed with ice cream sandwiches, as you saw last night.
It's true.
I could bribe you with a jersey if you would allow me to do that, and literally, and you'd be like, "No, we've already established this on the podcast. Anything that's $15 and down, you're good."
Everybody's banned.
I thought I was just going to buy a shirt and be in his good graces.
Did you buy a shirt?
I thought you guys were going to send me one as a gift.
I don't even get one. You kidding me?
Joel, you had some advice for me with my branding. I have some advice for you. I hear what you're saying, but as someone who did this for well over a year, I promise you there is no money in being an NXT guy. And I know you're saying you're not an NXT guy. Look, I understand what you're doing. I did the same thing. Oh, I'm not an NXT guy. I just watch them cover it every week. But trust me, there's no end game there because they never reach out. They're always looking for new retired wrestlers. It never works.
You can be in the audience without a chair, just standing there, pounding on the glass and everything.
I actually like that setup.
Yeah,
it is
pretty good.
The Canadian in me loves it. It's very hockey. It's perfect for us.
Yeah, it's the same way up here in New England, Boston. You literally, everybody, when people are hitting the glass at a hockey game, everybody's all excited because they're beating the crap out of the glass.
I want to point out that Impact is currently playing a Young Bucks match on their flashback.
Dude, those shows are so weird with their little Impact flashback. Let's show a match from 20 years ago to kill 15 minutes.
Couldn't tell you why, but you know what? It works right now.
It wasn't around 20 years ago, was it?
There goes me throwing the rest of the wrestling stuff I wanted to talk about out the window. That's fine with me.
There's still time.
Yeah, I know that there's still time, but still, this is a lot more fun than freaking analyzing a show that was decent and the show that was really good.
Oh yeah, we do that on Thursdays.
Throwback and I, we began this sort of we were talking about, and I'm sure you saw this, Joel, because you're a big fan of my work, but I'm messing. I actually like Joel Paul very much.
I also very much like Phil Hulbert's work.
Fine. Said it was not an insult, right? Like it was a humble brag on my part. I get you involved again. We put each other over. Good stuff. Anyway, Throwback and I were talking about best women's division in wrestling. Now this is I know that Jeremy is sitting there now and he's thinking, "Oh, I cannot wait to get into this discussion." Ain't you, Jeremy? Look at Jeremy's face. He's thinking, "I can't. Let me get into it." I know he's thinking that, but I'm gonna let Jeremy wait on it.
And I've had a discussion with him about it. I've had a discussion with him about it.
It's hard for me to get on these things, okay?
Yeah.
Joel. Compare and contrast as an NXT guy and an Impact guy, those two divisions.
Okay, where do we begin? The Impact.
A good food from Canada would be a good place to start. Poutine, which sounds pretty good right now.
I do quite enjoy a good poutine. If I can get one in good time, I will eat it. The Impact women's division is becoming more and more stacked, mainly because they've decided to implement their knockouts tag titles. They're bringing in people that, they look good. They need that extra shot. They need that look. And then you've got Jazz, who's amazing and can teach people a lot. And then you have the other side of it, where some people are just being brought in for a one shot. Great. You have NXT. NXT, at least when they're bringing in a lot of their women, they are keeping a lot of their women. They are giving them more stories. They're giving them a lot more time. And I'm seeing more than just the women's title on NXT as the reason for the women's involvement. Whereas on Impact, if they're not fighting for a championship, they're going after someone who shot Johnny Bravo. That's my problem.
Joel Pearl just dunked. I think he just dunked on Scott D'Amore.
I like what I'm watching for the
He
most
put
part.
him on the low post, put him on the block, backed him down.
Remember when I did that, Jeremy?
A little forearm. Sure, I do. It was a good week. It was a really good week. Throwing alley-oops all over the place.
Do you guys realize there's a man in this scene who actually tweeted this week, Seth Rollins has taken time off. I predicted this months ago. Son, we all predicted this months ago. Becky Lynch basically told us when she was pregnant.
Yeah, pretty much.
How bad does this game get? You know, this is where I'm going to throw back. This is where I now rant about this shit because I can do it without Sean getting mad at me or whatever.
Hey, you could say this is my show. You could say whatever you want. You could tell me the sky is blue. You could tell me freaking you're teaching Jeremy's Chong, and I'll be fine with that.
I'm to be honest though, going back to the professional wrestling show, Joel surprised me there. Because I know Joel's an NXT guy, but I thought he'd be an Impact man. And so I was confused which way it would go. But do you not think... So do we all agree the NXT women, the in-ring is probably better, right? On a more consistent basis?
Yeah. Consistency, yes.
Yeah. Characters. Do you subscribe to the kind of idea that, like, Impact has the more kind of varied cast of characters, the more compelling personalities in the women's division? Anyone can go on that.
I do subscribe to that.
Okay, cool.
And you do see it in the way that they do. Even like look at Rosemary. Rosemary's character is this ridiculous person who is multiple characters, but only one on this show, and then has a dark realm that she can go off into. Needs virgin blood to survive, and then on the other show on NXT, you've got Poison Pixie and the other heel girls. They're not.
My favorite character on NXT is the babyface that turns heel. Love that character. NXT.
Almost as good as the ladder match. Yeah. Do you know the ladder is now a character? It has a roster page in WWE.
Yeah, it is.
It should be.
It is.
Yeah. You know, speaking of NXT women.
And now NXT is running around like something from Screen movies, like the Screen Master. Like, God. How many of those are there? Like number 3 or something? You got Indy who's hurt, and then all of a sudden be like, oh, nope, there's another person with a mask. Who is it? It's like, oh, come on.
Speaking of the NXT women, we have an expert on the call here with Jeremy, because Jeremy is point god for a reason, right? He listens to the shit that isn't even made to be listened to. It's like people are just cashing checks and like, okay, I've got an interview with God only knows who this doing. And Jeremy's like, okay, I'll listen to that. Insanity. Only person I know that compares is Andrew Thompson, who is a complete lunatic. Steer clear. Great person. But Rhea Ripley was in the news. Jeremy, have you listened to the whole interview?
Yeah.
Oh, I actually have, and I was going to try and one up you. Jeremy, how sad is that interview? And before you answer, Joel and Throwback, have you seen this interview with Lillian Garcia?
You know my feelings.
Not yet.
You know my
feelings. I was going to try to watch it tomorrow.
Okay, Joel, your feelings literally at one point, unprovoked, Lillian just says, "How does it feel when people say you look like a man?" Huh? Huh? You're just going to drop that? Like, Rhea doesn't say they say that. Lillian's obviously just seen the comment. I guess maybe Rhea's like quotes with one in the last year. And Lillian's like, okay, I'll just say it. Insanity. Jeremy, how sad was this interview? My God. Sad.
Every Lillian interview is like depressing to some level. This one was actually this one was not as bad as previous one. So this one I felt like, oh, this is like kind of a normal-ish conversation for them. So because Rhea's been on the podcast before. So they actually talked more wrestling on this one than they typically do. Right? Yeah, on the podcast. So like it was sad, but this was sad from a wrestling level because as the article that I wrote pretty much said is she didn't know what she was doing after WrestleMania 36. They just took her off television and made her just into a nobody, and her confidence was shot.
Where's the communication? Where is how have you got a star? Like, to me, I've said this before, and I think I've done it when we did our draft show 15 years ago, 2 months. So, like, Rhea Ripley to me is like the top of the big board when you're talking about people that you can build around. And it sounds like no one even stopped to talk to her about what they were doing with her on TV. What is happening to professional wrestling? The sport we love, folks.
It's going to hell in a handbasket right now because there's a thing called COVID.
Yes, well, that doesn't help either.
No, I mean, go back and watch the Live Forever documentary and your answers are right there.
Shit. It's so bad, bro.
I'll say that I actually, as much as people give me grief, I actually liked it.
No, the documentary's good, but what it shows is the issue, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it started, she had its setback talking about her background and stuff, but it also helped you out to get an understanding, you know, what happened with them and everything else. It's weird. It's like, I was surprised they didn't cover some of the stuff past that with her getting into wrestling and talking about, Enzo.
They weren't going to talk about someone who doesn't work there, especially one who was let go the way he did.
Yeah. I mean, the thing with that story is, like, they've fell in love with this, you know, babyface who experiences a lot of showing trouble, right? Like, you know, they love it with the indie guys. Oh, this guy used to wrestle in the bingo halls. What a loser. Now he is with the Miz. And it's like, they're doing that now for characters that have never wrestled outside of the company. Like, you know, Liv is eventually going to do something as a babyface, and they'll be like, look at what she went through. You fuckers did it. You did it. You pulled her. You didn't tell her what she was doing. You didn't communicate with her. You didn't try to push her. You didn't try to pull her. You did nothing. You just left her. And they're going to be, you know, give themselves a big pat on the back and say, yeah, but we give the bloke the chance to make a documentary, so God bless. The shits.
Hey, she got to make money somehow, you know? I mean, but it was also cool to see Paul Heyman talk about what he saw in her before all the stuff just went downhill. Well, I mean,
Paulie gets so fired up, bro. He's like, this is a game changer. What about a lesbian angle? And they're like, well, then what, Paul? He's like, lesbians? I don't know. What do you want from me? God bless him, man. That guy's
call my friend Eric. He'll know what to do.
Him talking about his perception of Liv as a person, and it's that it was interesting. It was like if Vince actually sat down and talked about something like that. Oh yeah, he did with Taker, but I'm talking about with a female talent. I mean,
look, I kid, but I think Paul is way gone. As far his fastball to me is it's gone. But I would still rather watch a product that was just purely Paul Heyman's mind than what is currently like 100 people and 99 of them have no say in the end. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's a mess right now. At least when Paul had Raw, and that obviously wasn't just his show, I'm completely aware of that, but you could tell that there was people he was trying to push for better or worse. Honestly, there are times with WWE now where it's like, I don't even know who they intend to be pushing. It's just people coming out and wrestling long matches, winning or losing, right? Like, I don't know. But I like Liv a lot. I think the Ruby team is pretty great. So hopefully that works out.
Is that what she's doing right now? Is she still teaming with the Ruby Riott?
Riott Squad, brother.
I really don't feel like. When was the last time they were on television? I guess they were at Survivor Series.
The Riz Squiz, brother.
This is the problem with having quote cross-brand women's tag team championships that are only defended on Raw. It just makes zero sense.
Can you believe they're doing this deal where it's like we're building to Nia losing? It's like it's just pin Shayna every week. Fuck the brains that come up with this shit.
If they are going to pull the trigger and give Asuka and Lana the tag titles, give it to somebody at NXT right afterwards. Not even let them get past TLC like a day after. Have somebody at NXT just come up and say, I want it.
Those belts are done, man. Jeremy knows I retired. I'm done with it.
The moment Joseph retired and had me draft the resignation letter, it was done.
Because, like, the thing we will forget now is, didn't Banks and Bayley lose those like to Shayna single-handedly? And she's now laying down for like Lana, you know, visual pins and shit. It's just the worst. It sucks. I don't know what. I mean, I get it. I'm not surprised, right? They can't do anything with a tag team like the New Day. What chance have they got with the Iconics or ever? So I get it, but it's just at this point, those belts are so far gone to me. They just exist. They're never going up nor down. They're just there.
Both tag titles are the same way, all three of them.
Right. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's ridiculous how to see things go. I wish they would just give them to Ruby and Liv and let them run with it. But obviously, they got to give Nia something. And God, please, I don't want to see Lana go through a table again.
Then you probably don't want to watch TLC, and you'll probably hate WrestleMania.
God.
Brother, Bruce won't remember their names by WrestleMania. That man's going at 150 miles an hour. WrestleMania turns out, be like, who the fuck's Lana? I don't know what you're talking about.
No. They'll know who Lana is, and they'll be like, she's a star. Put her in the main. Put her up against Nia. It'll be a one-on-one WrestleMania caliber match anywhere.
Yeah,
in the world.
I was just gonna say that it's gonna be like the main event at WrestleMania when there's like 10 different ones.
I love that
shut
shit.
Me up.
I love that shit about, like, you know, the she's a star thing. Like, I think it's so adorable that they think there's more than like 3 people on their shows that people tune in for individually. Fair. Very, very fair. Like, do you not think it's crazy? There is people in that kind of powers that be situation that are like, Lana's a star. Look at the YouTube numbers. Like, as though the rating's going to drop a point if Lana misses Raw, right?
Vince it's already been well known. He doesn't look at the ratings anymore. He looks at the social media and stuff like that.
That's a quick route to doom.
Not anymore. They fired those guys.
What happened?
They fired those directors who were all about.
Oh, right. I understand. Okay, I get what you mean now.
Yeah.
I mean, YouTube views is like, should you pay attention to it? Definitely. Should you book the territory regarding its ups and downs? Probably not. So
this is what we should do on BPW. I should cut the segments to upload onto YouTube, creating more work for myself, and then see who draws the most views on YouTube. And then we can start pushing those people.
As long as you don't title that shit the way AEW does, I'm cool.
That's how we have to title it. The zombie makes his entrance.
Hang on a second. Okay, that would be way better than what I do. Okay, I do an article about an AEW guy, and it's like, okay, I need some YouTube clips to go like as the in betweens, right? And it's like their title's like, you'll never guess what happened on AEW. What the fuck? Who searches? I'll never guess what happened. Like, what are you doing? I type Kenny Omega. There's like 4 results. Everything else is the cleaner. You'll never guess what happens when the cleaner faces Penta. Else, stop. Just put Kenny Omega versus Penta. It's fine.
It's that SEO, bro. That's how you get your numbers up.
It's the shit. They're terrible at social. That's like,
you gotta ask them a question.
Terrible is probably too far. The truth
are
is,
they creating buzz, Joseph?
Good point. Are they snorting coke or are they?
I loved that line.
I'm glad that flew under the radar. Tony Khan, bro. Jeremy, I think you texted me when I was starting back to this show, like, and I'll piggyback. I apologize if I get this wrong, but Jeremy was like, he's out of his mind. So, like, that's the guy I'd like to be leading my team. I think that's what you said, right?
Yeah.
I'm so with that. That man's out of his mind. He's got like spreadsheets and shit. He's so all in. He's crazy. I love it.
He's smashing the White Claws with Ricky Starks at midnight and everything.
What finish is he going to take in a nightclub next year, in your opinion?
Didn't
what
he
AEW finish?
He went to like a nightclub with Darby and Joey Janela one time. Like, imagine those guys.
Janela was the tamest of the 3.
I would pay everything to see the Butcher and the Blade give their finish to Tony Khan in an empty nightclub. While the boys pop.
I look forward to the day like when Joey Janela proves us all wrong. He will be the tamest guy in the entire roster. Everyone's going, oh, he's so fucking crazy. Da, da, da. And then Brandy Lauren is going to be the person who like calms him way down. I swear to God.
I'm waiting for like when they do start traveling again, and all of a sudden AEW comes up to Boston, and they end up at.
And his character is going to be there.
And they end up going to Saugus and go to Calhoun's, and all the stories about the Calhoun. It's just.
Does Enes Kanter have heat on this show?
No, Enes Kanter, he was invited to AEW in Boston when they first came there because he played for the Celtics at the time.
Yeah,
and he's a former 24/7 champion.
Yeah, he didn't go because he said that it would ruin his chances to be in WWE if he showed up on AEW television.
Isn't he like pals with Dana Brooke?
No, very much
no, not anymore. They used to date, and then
that got bad.
Yeah,
he's
pals with Heyman.
Paul Heyman.
Yeah,
Heyman saw the potential in him.
Yeah, Paulie he's insane. He's mental.
They're playing more Wildest Moments from Impact. Do they not have a show this week? Like, what's going on?
I'm with you, Joseph. I would just take like a show that is of the mind of Paul Heyman.
The mind of any individual that is not Vince McMahon, that's just different, will be fun. Because Vince right now he's like pulling shit from 100 different directions, right?
Who are you waving to?
You.
Oh.
Vince doesn't know his hand out of his ass, basically.
I don't know what Vince. Look, man. God bless him. I think there's some fucked up shit going on with that guy, but I don't know. I think he's had a wild life. If at 70 I'm still alive, that'll be a feat. Vince McMahon has lived a whole lot wilder than me, so God bless. But it would probably be a good idea to kind of spread these duties around a little bit more now, because I don't think Bruce, with his 4 heart attacks, is the guy to fix the puzzle at this point. I don't know. Maybe it's just me.
I mean, Hunter's probably going to end up being the one to fix everything. I mean, eventually. They got to figure that out.
You're the news king, Jeremy. Did you see the PWI report today?
Yeah. I wrote about. I did the time cues. I did the time cues one because that's more newsy than. Yeah, Vince and Bruce are in charge. Like, shocker.
Did you guys see this shit? This was Vince booked the opening segment of Raw.
Yeah.
And allegedly, people were like, no way. It's not a strong enough segment. Who, Jeremy, you're the expert. Who leaked this? And was it Gabe Sapolsky? Gabe was like, I don't know what we're doing with the clown, but I was going to do a 20-minute Matt Riddle match. Fuck knows. I don't know, dude. Gabe Chris Hero in.
Gabe ain't it Raw. Come on now. Gabe's not Raw.
Gabe hides from Vince every time. There's no way.
I mean, they got to do something with Raw. I mean, it's starting to get better, but not where it's supposed to be.
It sucks. But what are you gonna do? You know, I just love the idea that someone in creative was like, I'm not sure this Bray Randy Alexa segment is strong enough. We usually open with such red hot shit on Raw. Fuck, people are gonna turn off the channel, right?
They're gonna end up taking.
Last week,
do you think it was probably Heyman? Heyman was just like, let's sabotage the red.
He's like. Someone sitting there like, guys, last week we opened with like a parents' evening meeting with the Raw team. We can't follow up with Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton. Fuck, people are going to turn the channel off within minutes.
I mean, Alexa is the best thing on Raw right now, to be honest.
I think the stuff's actually good. Like, I honestly...
I'm waiting on the Bray Alexa feature.
You'll get a feature about... Okay. Not Bray, fuck that. I'll do an Alexa feature. Because I think that angle they did on Raw was like... somewhat interesting because it seemed like Alexa was in control of what was going on there, right? Am I making this up?
I think you're making this up
because she said who's controlling who.
Yeah, are you insinuating that Alexa is the real Fiend?
Let me tell you something, Joel Paul. If we spin out of this with a heel duo of Alexa Bliss and Randy Orton, I'll never talk about another wrestling promotion again. I'll get a Raw banner behind me. I won't even talk about SmackDown. I'm turning the distraction to a Raw podcast exclusively.
You like I said, you guys can do whatever with my show right now. I'm just sitting back and enjoying this.
I'm just telling you, I'm just announcing to the world here that if they do that shit, it's a wrap. Tony Khan, delete my number. You know, that's too much for me. That's too much.
You're just going full, no more trade requests or anything. I don't know how much I believe this.
If you killed it 20 years,
I get it. Like, I understand what's on the line here. I know what a Bray or what a Randy and Alexa team would do, but no more trade requests ever. AEW is going to put the title on Eddie. Oh, that's the move, though.
I'm out. I'm done.
That's the move.
The power. Imagine Bliss hitting like the Randall pose. Imagine this shit.
Oh God.
Or Randall hitting the hand thing that she does. You know the hand thing. Jeremy, do the hand thing. There you go.
Next thing you know, the biggest heel thing she comes out is in her fiance's freaking music. Oh God.
Her hand thing now is like this, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She does the Rascals thing too, right? She does,
Yeah.
she does this shit.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good, Jeremy. Jeremy, do hit those 3 points you just did there.
I wish I had I wish I had the theme song.
She's doing the Rascals thing. I thought they were on AEW. I thought they were Top Flight.
That's the what was the Luther pose? The Luther pose was
He was doing that, yeah.
That's the pose, right?
Yeah, that's the pose.
Yeah. The Little Rascals is what it is. The whole thing with the underneath the chin and stuff.
Are they coming to New York? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, I think so.
Hell of a run on top, baby.
Oh my God.
They're gonna turn into Riddles, just weed buddies.
Riddles Rascals.
Yeah, there you go.
That's a good way to get them over.
This sounds like something they do.
It's perfect.
Fuck, it is. That's actually happening.
Yeah.
That's exactly it.
Oh man, this is awesome. So back to like some gaming and stuff. What is on tap for you guys for gaming next?
I don't know, Joel. When are we playing again?
I mean, we've been doing Saturdays pretty consistently with numbers. I'm fine with keeping that if you want to keep that going.
That's fine. Well, we're streaming on Saturday. I'm making the call right now.
There it is.
See, breaking stuff all the time on the show. But I have to, since Mr. Pearl's here and we've got Ron Patel in it, what's the deal with you two? Do I have to like literally put you two in a corner or something like that? Do I have to be like?
Is it he or is it Buzz?
I mean, do I have to be the parent in the room or just, hack into the gaming stream one time and just be like, you're going in one corner, you're going in one corner and separate the two of you?
No, we're fine. We're good. There was never actually any issue between us. He might tell you otherwise, but there was no issue.
He utterly put it on Twitter that he thinks you Tim's better than you are.
Tim is better than I am.
And both of you guys are equal. I mean, come on now.
They're just shooting an angle, brother. There's a payoff.
Right.
Yeah, what's the payoff? Getting Ron having like all upset about something? I mean,
it's the co-main underneath Ricky Starks versus Jeremy Lambert.
That's a squash match. So he called me the police today. He tried to call me the police.
Factual. Actual. You are the police, Jeremy Lambert. You get people in trouble by clickbait headlines.
That is true. I thought I ruined Mia Yim's career with that headline yesterday.
Trust me, they've got you covered.
Sean was mad at me over that headline. Joseph was retweeting it like, look what you've done. And I was
talking. You know I wasn't talking about that.
All the review shows.
You're getting a lot of people in trouble with headlines today, Joseph.
I know. I don't mean no harm. You know what I mean? I'm just
special
talking.
phone number, Jeremy, just popped up on your phone recently just because of that headline.
No, I don't. Nobody
calls
me.
Phone number.
Nobody.
Stanford, brother.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
that was a few headlines ago. Stanford was calling.
Mia Yim, like seriously, I can't stress enough how much I sympathize with what's happening to her right now. It's actually, honestly, I know we're having fun here, so I don't want to bring the mood down too far. But doing an angle purely to pop yourself is one thing, but like actively damaging careers is like whatever, man. Whatever you get off on, right? It's just so dumb to me.
So I had a friend who saw the episode of Raw that talked where she quote unquote was possessed or whatnot, and he's like, dude, that's almost like you having a seizure because he in 02 he saw me have one, and I'm like, I don't want to know, and I rewatched it again, and I'm like, there's somebody who's going to be saying something in an epilepsy group stating that there's a famous person on a wrestling show doing seizures, and I'm like, oh God, because I get comments about epilepsy all the time about it. It's just ridiculous that people saying, well, that's how you have a seizure. Yeah, when I have them, and I haven't had one since 02, when I was told, I literally I'm completely out of it. But something like that, some people took it to offensive because it's like, if you end up having something like a neurological disease like epilepsy and you drop and you're having a seizure, you have no control of anything. And you can't just wake up and just walk away. So a lot of people I know in those groups kind of took that as an exception.
Probably not the best, just professional wrestling match finish then, all things considered. Probably could have just steered clear of that one, right? In hindsight, probably didn't have to do that during an 8-man tag that no one will ever remember. What do I know?
We're trying to get heat. or create buzz.
Heat from the Skype screens that are told to boo and cheer, even though their noise is not used because we use fake crowd noise.
Yeah, the alarm that I set to get onto those Thunderdome registrations is
how. Yeah, what you were always tweeting Raw, Thunderdome, Open, SmackDown. Like you're an insane person trying to let the masses know that when the Thunderdome is open, no one wants to be in the Thunderdome that bad. Joel,
listen. When it was new, I figured out how it worked. I got real smart to it real quick and figured out a way. Now all you need to know is Mondays and Fridays at 11:45 Eastern AM.
Joey's
Wednesdays and Fridays.
I'm going to tell you, I think I told you this, Jeremy, but
we did a watch along and literally Tim's sitting there doing freaking the Thunderzone stuff. And it's me, Joel, and Tim. And then there's Tim's like watching. He's like, yeah, I'm finding out everything 5 seconds before the feed. And we're watching it and just like, he's like all cheering and all happy. And we're like, what the hell's going on?
Yeah, that was during Clash of Champions. And then we had to go to a
post show. Yes.
Joel's like, I think there's a perception of Joel in the industry that he's like a good hand and he shines guys up and he has some good matches underneath. But like, I personally have the belief that he's climbing the card. Do you agree, Jeremy?
No.
Oh, I thought to me, Joel.
I would legitimately, if I had the money, I'd hire Joel as like an assistant to listen to these podcasts for me and just tell me, all right, what articles can I get out of this? So I don't actually have to suffer through them. Did you listen to the Breeze on New Day podcast, Joel?
No, it's on my queue for tomorrow morning.
No, don't bother.
I believe it. My Mondays, what's today? Tuesday? My Tuesdays are usually 3 or 4 Raw reviews.
Wait, what's happened to the New Day podcast?
Oh, look, it's an entertaining podcast. If I didn't have to listen to these for work purposes, I'd probably actually listen to this one. For work purposes, this particular episode sucked. Tyler Breeze is just talking about his Pokemon card collection. It's like I can't write articles about that. Here's what people don't get. I actively dislike wrestling. I like working.
I get it.
Kind of insane.
Bro, I get it.
I was gonna say that's how it goes.
It's not the hidden gimmick you pull.
Disappointing. I thought I was working a great gimmick here.
Anyway, I think Joel.
You don't get joy out of wrestling, Jeremy?
No, I don't. I'm kidding.
It's the most joyous thing of all.
Jeremy's already said this just on the podcast previously that he'd rather talk about everything else except for wrestling.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about this shit. I got to watch enough of it. I got to listen to interviews on about all day. I do multiple podcasts a week about it. That's why I'm trying to turn it into a basketball podcast. And Joseph, we're trying to high art movie reviews.
True. How much do you hate on? Like, I don't watch any wrestling podcast whatsoever. I'm sorry, guys. That's just the way I am. I don't even. I have to watch the wrestling. That's enough, right? Jeremy, how on track does Sean have to keep you on Friday nights?
Oh, very.
Yeah.
I think Sean gets off track, honestly, because Sean hates talking about it just as much.
Hang on, don't blow the brother spot up there, Jeremy.
They talked about Christmas movies and whatnot on last night's podcast.
So
yeah, and I had to egg that on. I was the one who said the super chat about Die Hard.
Sean doesn't want to talk about this stuff any more than I want to.
Well, here's a good question since you brought up the whole Christmas movie thing. Is Die Hard a Christmas movie?
I'm a Jew. I have no answer.
You have an answer. It's like you can say, is it a Hanukkah freaking one?
I would always say yes. I think people, they're too defensive about the term. Like, why can't we just accept it as that? Does it have to be a fight every time? I think yes. That's just
Die Hard's more of a Christmas movie than Santa's Little Helper.
What about Puppet Greenwich Village?
I don't know what that is.
It's Randy Orton's favorite movie.
Randy Orton's my favorite man.
What's that?
Is that the movie he took to the papers?
I can't remember anymore. It's a bit, but then I think it was a real thing.
It's interesting that Denise is awesome in her own right, but has not seen Polar Express. I mean, come on now.
Well, I haven't seen any of this shit. Jeremy said to me,
okay, so you
did a bit where Jeremy listed every famous show ever, and I was like, no, I ain't seen shit. So
have you actually seen Love Actually since you're from Britain?
Yes, I have seen Love Actually.
Okay, then that's a Christmas movie.
That is a Christmas movie. Yes. Yeah. Is that a debate, or is that are you just saying it's a Christmas? I agree, it's a Christmas movie. No, yes.
I'm saying like. I asked that on that show. I'm like, has she seen like Love Actually and stuff? She's like, nope. I'm like,
Okay, I'm on your side then. Yeah, fuck that. See Love Actually.
My ex-wife would always make me sit there and watch Love Actually. So eventually it just rubbed off me because of just that old dude singing that freaking "Love Is All Around Me," and he's like, "Fuck this shit, fuck this."
Yeah.
He's
Love
like,
Actually. Yes.
But I mean, especially since now we're in December, I mean, what's the plan for the distraction for the holidays?
Do nothing? Can we do that? Can we just not do shows?
Bro, this week's been pretty cushy. I'm not gonna lie. I'm like,
It
shit,
has
I
been
don't have
nice.
to watch a bad film. Like, I love talking to Jeremy, but sometimes, like, preparing, like, watching the film or watching 100 episodes of whatever wrestling TV is. I don't know. I mean, here's the thing, and I'm going to announce this now, and Jeremy doesn't know, but we're actually rebranding to a Ring of Honor exclusive podcast. He doesn't know. It's going to be called the Code of Honor. Brackets, no distractions. And what happens is, at the start of every podcast, like, we reach towards the camera like this, we shake, and then Jeremy turns my camera off and he does the handshake deal like Todd Sinclair. And then we like just list them. Every week we do our top 100, it's like, it changes every week because it's such a fluid industry. But that's what we're going, to be honest. I don't know if we're doing that in December or January, though. Jeremy's going to have to decide that.
Yeah, and then you guys are going to do the show from freaking the studio when you finally meet each other after the whole COVID thing.
And we shake. Yeah. We do the Code of Honor.
I was telling somebody else, it's been so nice these past couple of weeks. Like last week, I didn't have to watch Raw. This week, I had to watch Raw, but I was like, I don't have to do this movie review afterwards. Like, I don't have to watch this movie for another hour and a half. Like, it's been really nice not having to do the movie review the past couple of weeks.
Well, you guys have already finished all the music reviews too, so I mean,
there's plenty of music. We're just not going to do it.
Cannot blame you.
It's tough for content, right? Because it's like,
we can't
just
play
less
the clip or anything. So
there's just less. There's less elements of it to just pop ourselves with, right? With music, It's like, this is bad, isn't it? Yes, it is. That's what actually, in fairness, I'm going to put Joe over again because I think he's an upper mid-card guy and I'm glad he's going to push. But Joe was very useful when we did the Elias one with him because he actually gave us like a different. He added a string to our bow, Jeremy. He added a string to our bow. So, like, that was cool. But when we did Rap Ham, it's just me and Jeremy like, yeah, that sucked, didn't it?
Everyone popped for the lyrics that I was reading on.
Yeah,
you were reading.
That was awesome.
It's very good.
I mean, we're massive stars, Jeremy. Of course they pop, but it's like the Road Warriors, like, it's Chicago's a different kind of pop, right?
Yeah, sometimes you just got to go in there, give them the hits, though, and then get out. You don't have to give them your best match every single night.
It's the way I'm built, bro. Built different.
He's built like the Ultimate Warrior. Just go in and destroy everything and get out.
We're really going places.
Tessa Blanchard to Old Warrior. What the fuck? What's going on here?
Oh, do you want the British Bulldog?
No, I definitely don't want the British Bulldog. Just keep me away from
Brett. You go in there every night, and every match you're going out there to put on a classic.
That's right. Joseph,
I'm like Sean. I'm just kind of motivated when I'm with my friends and stuff. Some stuff I'm just not all that motivated. I'm more motivated also when there might be certain things backstage.
Jeremy Lambert, the Roman Reigns of Fightful.
Joseph,
wreck everything and leave.
You don't watch The Bump, do you?
No. To be honest with you, Joel, I would really respect it.
He said he doesn't watch any podcasts.
I would really respect Joel if he said yes, but to be quite frank, it took me about 8 months to figure out what The Bump was. And I clicked on it, and there was a big picture of, I think, Bubba Ray Dudley, and it was just people going, hey, well, Bubba Ray spoke about the business.
Done.
And then there was that fella with the legit boss jacket on who does the weird shit on Twitter, and I was just like,
Ryan Papola, yes.
Did you listen to that song? Because you messaged me.
I sent you it.
Yeah, we played that. That was in the middle of the game stream. We played it on the game stream.
What is going on?
What got us struck.
What is happening though? Why is he doing this? Is that just his gig now?
It's very strange. I mean, he helped the Distraction first episode with Sasha Banks and Michael Jordan.
He sucked. He took like a year to respond. He didn't come on the podcast, pop us. He didn't do anything. He was a shit version of Luther.
The point I'm trying to make.
Everybody though, like who compares to Luther? Honestly,
I have to say, I really, to toot you guys' horn, I really did enjoy that interview because he's just Luther is just the nicest person,
the coolest dude, bro.
Just
the coolest dude.
Yeah,
like I want to give him a big hug.
He's got a ridiculous view of how important we are. It's so off. But like the coolest dude, like I honestly think he could be on the show every 2 weeks and it would not change the vibe at all. Like, and
I think he wants to be on the show every 2 weeks.
I think he wants to be the third in the distraction right now.
I mean, that's fine.
Anytime.
Yeah.
It's cool because he has
interesting.
Jeremy and I love just like Jeremy hates wrestling. I get that. But when Jeremy enjoys wrestling conversation, it's like more broader strokes and it's like old school. We're talking this, we're doing actual comparisons, painting with a real sports style brush. And like he loves that. Luther, but he's actually got the stories with these guys too, right? So it's tremendous, yeah.
Dude, I mean, bring him back as soon as possible, as long as AEW's not being
TK.
TK and I are about to be boys pretty soon. Once I find out the kind of White Claw.
You getting on that shit too, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, so yeah. So speaking of TK, going back to the bump, so they had Dana Warrior on, going back to when you were just compared to the former person. You obviously didn't see it. She talks about the wine that WWE is releasing. That is Warrior Red or something. She pretty much gets to the point in the conversation where, first of all, she's on something, and eventually equates her husband's blood to taste like this wine. She's marketing it as if you're drinking Warrior.
They did the same thing with Taker. They were like Taker's wine when he did the Stone Cold show.
At least he's still alive.
Drinking Warrior blood. That'll really get you going.
I thought it was Tiger blood that used to do the trick. No, now it's Warrior blood.
Yeah.
Bro, you've got to be shitting me. There's no way. This is real.
No, this is, I think, last week or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Isn't she like, hasn't she got the pencil now? Is she part of creative or some shit?
She's still writing.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay. I don't want to be I don't know. So, you know.
Well, I mean, Dana Warrior is, the significant other of his. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they were vampires at one point. I mean, you got to remember, Twilight was a huge thing at one point. So they must have been drinking the Twilight juice too much.
No, he was injecting other juice. He wasn't drinking the Twilight juice. Sorry, I'm watching Rohit Raju versus Crazy Steve.
Do you like Rohit Raju, Joe Paul?
I do. I respect the man. I especially respect the way that he went off on a certain Sean Ross Sapp a few months ago.
Wow. I don't even know that happened.
Just a prediction show.
Huh? I'm going to send you this text message.
Oh, no.
Oh, boy.
Oh, dear.
You'll see why I'm cracking up.
Appears that I am no longer part of Fightful.com.
Yeah, you've been fired.
Please,
God.
Please at me on any job vacancies.
Like I said, you could help run the station if you want.
Congratulations, Joe Hulbert. You are now hosting the gaming streams.
Check your phone.
Oh, no.
Oh, God.
Oh, the boys. Oh, it's nothing to do with
I-
me, guys. It's the boys of the business popping themselves again.
Smashing the White Claws, man.
Taking finishes in nightclubs.
God.
You know the shit. That's the promoter life, brother.
And friggin' going into Calhoun and destroying the place. Yeah.
The Marks called him a certain thing, right, Jeremy? There's a difference between if you just called him by his name, you call him Mr. Khan or Tony. Yeah. That's one thing. You call him TK. It's different. It's different around there.
Off with their heads.
Life.
By the way, Hannah, great job on the review.
Oh, get Hannah out of here. She's banned.
Oh, no, this Masha, she ain't banned. She's a contributor to the show. If Hannah sniffed her finger and told me she wanted to come in, she gets in.
Jeremy Lambert, I've got heat with you, by the way.
Is it heat or buzz?
Buzz.
That's our new game.
That's a new game. Damn it.
Buzz.
How and why am I now somehow coming onto an NXT review on Sunday? What have I done?
I think Ron Patel is the person who actually tagged you on this. Yeah,
he did that.
It's his fault. I tried to get you the out, and I said, I'm not going to make Joseph suffer through NXT.
I'm old, man. I'm old.
Yeah, and then you jumped in. Or I think Andrew tagged you and was like, come on, one time. And then you were like, all right, I guess Andrew Andrew talked you into it with one Twitter tag.
I can't say no to Andrew Thompson because eventually he's going to rule the world.
Yes.
And I would like some sort of job when that happens. So I have to just, he says, yeah, I go, okay, cool. I'll do it. NXT, let's go. NXT, that's happened to me on Sunday. I'll come on at 5 in the morning. NXT, I love War Games. Come on, let's have it.
You got to yell War Games.
Like I said, I'm not doing anything on Sunday, so don't be surprised if I hack the feed or something like that. Yeah, that I don't have the means to do it, but it'd be funny to try. Basically, like Joe's like, come on, Throat, get in here. I need help.
just get onto the stream and delete it immediately, and I'll be like, oh, what a shame. Fuck.
Yeah, be like peek in,
can't
pop
talk about
out.
War Games.
It'd be like an old, like the whole thing at Wrestle Talk where they're doing the El Fagador angle right now. It'd be like a huge thing with a huge mask over my head. But I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting for War Games, though. That's for sure. So since Hannah's in there, what did you think about Hannah doing the review show?
I didn't watch that nonsense.
What did you need to call that shit?
I thought she did awesome.
You're gonna get fired.
Jeremy was like, I didn't watch that that nonsense. I didn't watch that
Jeremy Crazy Pinfalls contributor Hannah Moore.
Watch it.
Jeremy, 3 easy words. I was working.
I mean, I was working, so.
Oh shit! There you go. Jeremy is a bitch. Jeremy, you're a bitch.
Oh wow!
Wow! You didn't watch that shit, you bitch.
Hannah, you better run in now and get some order here.
God damn, Jeremy.
My mom always says there's nothing like a woman's touch to settle everything straight. So.
Oh shit. I didn't fucking watch either. I don't watch any of that shit, but there you go.
I mean, I think
I'm always a bitch. That's fine. I'll be a bitch. I don't watch anything. I'm literally here. Between us, we have like 15 wrestling shows. I don't watch any of them, including mine. It's fine. I'll be a bitch.
See, Hannah's putting the kids to bed right now, so I didn't want to curse. The kids are around. I know other people have kids who are watching.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it very, very much. I appreciate it very much, and I agree too.
I will say this. I sent Hannah a DM the other day asking her to do the podcast angle and stuff. So, I mean, if she does it, it'd be great. I mean,
Hannah has a life, unlike us.
Hey, I work 48 hours a week. I work 48 hours a week right now. So, I mean, I'd rather be doing what you guys do and just cover all this stuff because that's what I'm used to, like the production side of it.
No, that's the bitch life, bro. You don't want that bitch life. Jeremy and I, we live that bitch life.
Try getting your hand burned constantly on a muffler every day.
Brother, try to talk about Bray Wyatt every week and have fun.
I wouldn't mind doing it considering Bray's actually really good.
I've been burning my hand since I was like 3 years old. That's easy.
Dude,
try to make sense out of Bray Wyatt, though.
I was scrolling through Jeremy and I's old chat because I wanted to find when he asked me to do the podcast with him. And like we used to put in what the topics were days in advance. And genuinely, over the last few weeks, we've started shows not knowing. I don't have any clue what Jeremy's going to talk about. He doesn't know either. He's just like Raw. Was Raw good? I'll be like, I don't know. Fuck. Just talk about the NBA or something.
And it's so more difficult now because I have to do the thumbnail beforehand. So I'll create the thumbnail, send it to Joseph, and he'll be like, "Oh shit, we got to talk about this." Now that's how he finds out what we're talking about.
Yeah, well, we had Phil Lindsay
the best friend right now, so that's for sure. Just watch everything on Hulu for an hour, and there you go.
Phil Lindsay's like a real writer. Like he covers stuff, and he's well spoken and he's thoughtful. And we have him on the show, and Jeremy's like, "Here's the thumbnail. Bliss and Bray are actually good." I'm like, "Oh fuck, just dunk on me before we even start the show, don't you? Position me for dunk." But it was fun. It's great when we have guests because it's like we're at a point now, Jeremy and I, we just basically concede that everything sucks, even when we don't think it's bad. When a guest comes, it's like, yeah, I agree, that is good. I don't fucking know.
You guys are like 2 steps away from being put behind the paywall and like teamed up with Pulaski.
I don't know, man.
Come on, in like a tag team oriented thing.
I think it's a thing that has to happen. Like I think.
Oh God,
here we are.
Your camera doesn't work. Suck it.
Wow.
Well, that was great. That was the run-in.
Shades of Shivani, we gotta go.
No. We can stay past 10 at any point.
And on
Here we
top of
go.
that, she has the
Can't
diva
hear.
beanie on too.
Can't hear anything. Oh, sucks.
Hi, Hannah. Yeah, I can hear you barely. You just got to turn it up.
She can't talk. Let's go bye-bye. See you later.
Yes, Joel. I think we need to do a show, Alex. Obviously. But
Yeah,
Alex lives on a
I would
different
like to
planet.
see the three.
That
of
man's all in. Like I
Yeah.
can't get the energy levels up for that shit. I just sit out here, kind of suck. But Alex he's constructing a whole program.
He has a one-man show too. That's so.
Yeah, he's a beast.
you.
He's like
got that acting background, too, right?
he's a
I
guy
mean,
where I get it. Why people actually like. I want to see Alex's take on this. When people say about us, I'm like, we don't have takes. So what are you doing? But Alex, I get it. He's tremendous.
I mean, doing this show by myself, it was really difficult to do it just to talk out in the void. Doing this like this is a lot better.
Right.
And the whole thing with the roundtable too. I mean, I'm ecstatic that StreamYards actually works compared to OBS.
StreamYard rules. I log on 4 minutes before we do the show. Come on, what? Jeremy, okay, what we doing? Film. Okay. Here we go.
There's the queen.
Can she do it?
Okay. Now I can hear you.
Oh,
I had to go get my AirPods.
La-di-da.
By the way, congratulations on the review.
It was a
Oh,
preview.
thanks.
Well, to me, it counts. You know,
Yeah, but it's.
I did
preview,
one
not
with
a
Sean
review.
and still. Yeah, but still, it still works. I mean, the only person from the roundtable that hasn't done one, actually two, is Rob and DK. And DK got a promise to do it on camera. So, I mean,
I've never done a
Rob's-
preview. Where's my preview? Jeremy, give me a preview.
Well,
I-
Sean
I-
only asked me
I'll
because
give you
he
that
had no one
boost.
else.
Yeah, that's why he asked me to do all these shows too. Because he can't trust anybody else to do it.
Jeremy's got like 4 shows from that theory. We need a show, Jeremy. Anything?
That's how you
what
get
was
in,
fair?
Hannah. He just has no one else to turn to, and then he just gives you everything.
He's still not got to that point with me where he's like,
Well,
Joe, let's do a preview. He's like,
in
fuck that.
Hannah's defense, she's the one that has like the Wrestle Ramble title freaking ring going on there.
He messaged me earlier and he was like, if your kids weren't such little shits, I would have you do one of my shows.
Oh my god, perfect.
I'm like,
It's
I,
incredible. Like,
I
it's
didn't
like-
ask that.
that's like an incredible, somewhat compliment, mostly insult. I don't know how to take that. I don't know how you'd respond to that.
Well, I mean, my kids often threaten to beat Sean's ass. So
Your kids are assholes.
They
I mean,
are.
yeah,
You're
are.
a bitch, Jeremy.
they're yiddle assholes.
Yiddle.
Yiddle.
Because neither of them say the word little. They both say everything's yiddle.
Yeah.
It almost sounds like pig Latin.
They come from fucking parts of Brooklyn in the Jew quarters.
Well,
Sorry,
one
I
of
can say it,
them's-
I'm a Jew.
One of them is 3, so that's his excuse. But the other one, I just won't correct him because it's too cute. So
Just wait till they say it and they're 10 years old.
Yeah, and
I
you
don't
go
care.
crazy.
do you think I care? I'll beat some 10-year-old's ass if they make fun of him. Like,
Hey, I'm
Okay.
here to tell you how to parent. Damn.
Well, hopefully, we could get that roundtable going eventually. I'm hoping. But the invitation's out there, Hannah. If you want to do the podcast this week, it's up to you. And there she goes.
And there's
I
her
didn't
answer.
even do anything.
I'll take that as a no. She didn't want to do the podcast.
Oh, no.
That's fine. Either way. Oh, there she comes.
Jeremy, I have a proposition.
Are you going to be popping like popcorn?
I'm the DK of this show. No, actually, I was looking at the chat and I clicked the X to exit out of the chat, and it exited me
You're
out
going,
of the whole
dummy.
fucking thing. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Too stupid to
nope.
podcast.
Yeah, and they're like, oh,
Been there.
nope, she doesn't want to do the show with you, man.
Damn it.
How do I turn my
No.
camera off so people can't see what I'm about to do?
You press stop cam. It's on the bottom.
You press stop camera. I'm the stupid one.
There.
There he is. Incredible.
People are still hearing that picture is legit from like
That's,
I don't know,
If we
15
can't
years
figure out
ago.
what you're about to do.
I'm
gonna have-
So I have
What do you think
I
I'm
am
about to do?
on-
I'm about to do some.
Crack.
Can he be muted? Can someone make him stop talking?
Nope.
No, I have to be on phones all this week at work. So I spend 9 hours a day calling doctor's offices and getting yelled at by bitchy white women every day.
All right. No, that's
Okay.
fine. It wouldn't be till late.
It's been a good time.
Yeah, I know. My ex-wife used to do that stuff. Used to call call centers. It would drive her nuts.
Yeah, and I don't like that's not even my job, but that's what they have me doing right now. And the other day I called one and I was like gave her my whole big message that I have to say, and she's like, "Sorry, we're not interested," and hangs up. And I'm like, "Well, I'm not interested in paying my bills either, lady, but you still have to pay your bills." Like,
Well, how
Your
many
cutoff
belts are
wasn't
you at
obvious at
now, by the
all.
way?
what?
After the Wrestle Ramble 94 freaking point prediction win, how many belts are you at now?
Oh, that wasn't for a belt. I got $500 for that.
That is
So I've
literally
won-
half my mortgage.
I've won 2 of the $500 ones, and then I've won 6 belts. But I gave 2 of the belts away.
When are you buying me a PlayStation 5?
When are you gifting me
Um,
one of the belts? I thought this was a free for all. Sorry.
Jeremy, I don't even fucking like you. Why would I buy you a PlayStation 5?
I don't know.
This is like something out of the Big Lebowski right now.
Like, what? You would be the last person in this that I would buy a PlayStation 5 for.
I mean, that's
Jeez.
probably not true.
Jeez,
The
Jeremy.
shipping alone for Joseph.
Yeah, that's too much. That's way too much.
Yeah.
Also, because I'd be like, I don't know what to do with
couldn't-
it.
Why would I like buy it here and then ship it to him?
Good point.
I could
Also,
literally
good
just
point.
purchase it from someone in the UK. Like,
Yeah.
God, I'm really not the stupid
Jeremy,
one on this podcast.
To be honest, Jeremy, you've really.
Wait, I've done a
exposed
bunch of
yourself
drugs tonight. All right, so
You've-
no, you're not
Jeremy,
the stupidest person on this podcast.
You've really exposed yourself there because now you have
Probably.
no excuse for my Christmas gift that is not going to be coming. It's very sad.
I'm sending you a point guard shirt. That's what I'm sending everybody as a Christmas gift.
If
Okay.
I get a
Point
point
guard
guard
hoodie.
shirt,
That's an interesting that there you have
You
a
didn't
hoodie
buy
now
one,
too.
Hannah? That's very disappointing.
no, I didn't buy
Disappointing.
one.
You're
But
supposed to
buy him
support.
one.
The only Fightful shirts that I have are the ones that I got for free.
You're
Correct
supposed
approach.
to be supportive.
Pete, Chris Paul.
And I got a mug for free and the weird ass paper mask of Sean's face.
Really?
Which, if I would have found that, I would have been Sean for Halloween.
You did find it. It was in the friggin' hamper that you went through that one
First off,
time.
a hamper and a laundry basket are not the same thing. Second off, okay, somebody just messaged me. Second off, that was like 3 months ago. Do you think I still know where it is?
No, you definitely don't. But I was just letting you know the last place it was.
Yeah,
You're gonna be
because
hanging
you
with
gave
her
me
hat.
shit
Man,
about my
I should
closet.
just
Yeah,
now I
and
should
it's
ask
still on there,
Boston
for
words.
sure.
Jeez. So, what's do you call like a purse, like a handbag, a purse, or a pocketbook?
A pocketbook.
Is like a wallet. A purse is a purse.
Here they call it a pocketbook.
No, if
You're
it's
crazy.
bigger, if it's bigger than being able to fit in your pocket, then it's not a pocketbook.
Well, that's what they call
Very
it up
fair
on here in
point.
Boston.
Very
what they
fair
call
point
it.
again.
Well, this is that I'm telling you what they say up here. If it's a purse or a handbag, they call it a pocketbook.
How big are their pockets?
Have you been up that way?
Have you been to Boston?
I have not. I've never been to Boston.
Oh, open invitation, especially if Jeremy and Joe show up.
Oh, that's
I got
open
no
invitation
reason to
stay
be in
home.
Boston.
I feel loved. I feel the love up here in the Northeast. Get all cold and shit.
I'm
I
going
like
to
New York
Ohio.
City.
That's as far as I'm going.
Never
I'm
been to
probably gonna
Ohio.
be. I'm gonna probably be near Jeremy's neck of the woods next year at some point. I'm probably gonna be in Hubert.
Where's that?
It's north of Wilmington.
I just told you I'm
You
going to
live there.
Ohio next year. I'm not going to be here next year. Like here in existence.
In existence.
Do we need to call
Do
someone?
we need an intervention?
Do we-
My fault. It's the podcast's fault. I saw this coming. It's fine, Jeremy. I'll cover for you. It's fine. Just don't say it on air,
Oh
okay?
my God.
This is why I like community.
I'm not getting in any trouble tonight, am I?
Jeremy.
I don't know. I can't text Sean and tell him to fire you because I'm on my phone doing this. So
Why are you trying
Jeremy-
to get me fired? I'm actually like legit worried you're trying to get me fired. Like,
Jeremy
I'm
Lambert.
very scared.
If
will you
disappear,
answer, Joe?
Yes, thank you. I appreciate that because sometimes Jeremy he takes me for granted. It's very sad. If you disappear, what up and coming wrestling news writer do I blame for it?
Oh, you can't. You're supposed to blame yourself because that's what's going to
No.
happen. Everybody's going to blame you.
I'm protected by distance, brother. Who's on the
I
up?
got a list of like 5 names you can blame.
So,
2 of them have the same last name and might be married.
What?
I wasn't going there. I was talking about
Yeah,
people.
what are we talking about?
I was just talking about people that are below you on the hierarchy on the Fightful team. This is now getting out of hand. I apologize.
Oh,
I wasn't
mean,
talking about them because I wouldn't consider them up and coming anything.
I wish.
I mean,
I
you
was-
can blame. You can blame DeFelice. You can blame DeFelice.
That's all I wanted, Jeremy.
Oh, don't
they
blame
legitimately-
Robert.
They tried to. They said they were going to overthrow me today.
Okay, but
So I
you
mean,
can
that's
still get back
I was
in
just
bed.
giving you that. I was just giving you that. I was feeding you that.
I know, but then they jumped in.
It's so
with,
hard, man.
I don't get it.
We're doing 2-man game, and it's like shit. What do you mean? I'm in the corner. I'm just sitting. I'm lobbing it. That's all I'm doing.
We're running
Yeah.
pick and roll over here, and they're trying to cut in front of our
Setting
space.
screens.
Yeah.
Same team.
It's
All right,
it's a
go
lot
ahead.
easier when
Go
it's 2
ahead.
on 1, isn't it?
What is
Joe,
happening?
we're
I'll
allies,
come
Joe
up and
Paul.
cover you up in a minute.
Oh yeah,
okay?
good point. Sorry. It's having one of my big show moments.
Oh boy.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
So Jeremy, here's what I want to do.
Oh God.
Oh,
That's
God.
that's usually the response. After watching the
Good night,
the
sweetheart.
Tyson reaction thing that y'all did, and Sean finally saying, "I might download that Parsec gimmick."
Yeah. So
I need you and Sean versus me and my Tim in a night of gaming dominance.
you
I
gotta
want to
talk.
host that. I want to host that.
You got to talk to Sean about these things because Sean's a busy man.
Oh
And
shit.
Listen,
Pass
when
the
I
ball.
DM him, it only goes so far, friend.
Yeah, I get it, but I can't. I'm not just gonna sign Sean up to things and then him be like,
Jeremy's
what do you-
like above my pay grade, bro.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I get it.
You show me that shit.
there, okay, it just can't happen. So I'm not the person to ask this. I'll do it. You know me. I'm good.
Oh, I know.
My schedule's flexible. Sean actually like has a life. So
What if that's-
He doesn't really have life.
he tries
All
to
right,
have a
you're gonna have to call him, Hannah.
He just lays on his couch with all of his fucking cats climbing all over him.
I mean, he tries to have a life though.
But
Why
the
are you
cats
so
keep him
mean?
down.
If he's watching this,
I'm
I'm
not
sorry.
mean. I'm honest. I'm not mean.
Big
Oh, you
difference.
sound like my parents when I called them assholes.
Whoa.
Jesus. Where is this going?
No.
This is out of control.
We're
Yeah,
not
this is
mean,
awesome,
we're
though.
realists.
This is like just
Joe
like
Pearl
stuff.
is- Watch Joe Poe. He feels he's in the corner there and he can just get away with shit. He's saying some wild stuff. You need to calm down, Joe Poe. You're an upper mid card guy now, brother. Take some responsibility.
Yeah, I
No,
guess I
he-
got to start putting the young kids over.
There you
Yeah,
go.
he's
That's the
the
attitude.
rock of the show right now.
Hey. I was the Elmer Warrior and Tessa Blanchard. He's the Rock. What the fuck's going on here?
I have
The
no
Rock.
idea what's happening.
The
Yeah,
Rock.
and
He's
freaking
D'Lo Brown and the Rock. Chill.
Barely Brian Myers.
That sounds about right. Sounds about
Well, I
What
mean,
were you guys
Jeremy's
talking
lost in it,
about
though.
before I got here?
I don't know. I
We
think we're
don't
pretending
know.
to care about wrestling. I think we're doing like fake wrestling talk or some shit. I
Who
don't know.
knows?
You're just talking about general stuff because, well, we threw wrestling out the window after that point. But I mean, we started talking about NXT and stuff like that. How, there's only 4 good teams on there, and Raw and SmackDown. There's not really any good teams on there. So I mean,
If we're talking about wrestling again, I'm just gonna leave. I don't really care.
we can talk
All right,
about
which 80
Star
tag
Wars.
team comes back to NXT?
Yeah, we
Say
can
it
talk about
again.
Star Wars and the Mandalorian if you want.
I
don't watch
know.
that stuff.
I don't know any of that shit either.
Yeah.
God, this went off the rails real quick, huh, Joe?
It did. It did, but that's kind of what I was warned about, so I'm fine with that. I'm fine.
Yeah.
We were doing like straight wrestling talk. Who needs that, right?
I've just been binge watching Snapped, and started a series called The Teacher on Hulu about a lady fucking her student. So that's been a good time.
Yeah, I read about that on Twitter today.
Yeah,
It's interesting.
I saw the preview on it.
I mean, she's like a 30-year-old teacher. Apparently, Brian Myers is a great gimmick. She's like a 30-year-old teacher.
The Garganos
and
love
she's got an
her, right? They love
18-year-old student, and she's like seducing him. And this dumb bitch like tells her husband that she's sleeping with her student, tells a coworker she's sleeping with her student, and then she's like, how's everybody finding this out? Like, what the fuck? I've been watching it the whole time, just like, what is happening? It's been very interesting.
Well, I mean, anything like that is interesting to begin with.
And then I watch episodes of Snapped and text Sean about the murder ladies, and then we talk about the murderers.
Are you a Snapchat murderer, Hannah?
What the hell does that even mean?
I don't know. Like the Craigslist killer?
No, but she slays
What are you
predictions,
talking
that's
about?
for sure.
Like a
No, I'm not
Craigslist
the
killer?
Snapchat.
I know
I'm
a
not the
catfish
Snapchat
murderer.
Look at this cast of characters.
Don't look.
Yeah,
Don't
sorry,
look at
Evan.
the
It's
subscribe.
probably best you block your eyes.
Yeah. I have to have my hat on because I'm going bald.
Me too, eh?
Joseph, why are you still awake? It's like
What?
I'm
8
professional, Jeremy Lambert.
Yes.
you're
Do I
an
not look like a
insane-
professional? Do
You're
I not
time
look
is it
like a
there?
professional right now?
What time
an
is it
insane person.
Do you know that I was voted as a young man most likely to go bald? Take that. Take that.
Yeah,
Take
well,
that.
thank you.
This shit's down my shoulders.
Mine,
What time is it there, Joe?
Quarter to
10 to 3 in the morning.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, I stay up that late too, so I get it.
God, I don't.
You're old.
well, now that I feel
True.
bad that he's still up at 3 o'clock in the morning over there.
Professional. That's what I do.
Oh,
On
How
Sunday,
old
no.
I'll be
are
up
you?
until 6.
How
I
old are you?
kayfabe that. I never ever turn
Okay,
on that because
in your 20s or 30s?
53.
20s. I'm in my
he
20s,
younger?
but
Is
I
he younger than
kayfabe
me,
it
Jeremy?
because
What?
Is he younger than me?
Jeremy doesn't know.
I don't know what this I'm getting random DMs, all right? Telling
Oh,
me
God.
don't
Really
start
bad
shit.
friend.
I don't know what I'm trying to start.
Tell Ricky to calm down.
Who's telling you to start?
I kayfabe it because some people think I'm old enough to have seen like Flair in person. And you know, I like that veil of mystery.
Are you acting
I
like
appreciate
Flair's
it.
dead?
You went to Saudi?
I mean, you're right. Probably not the best example. I could be like 14 and have seen Flair in person. Good point.
Right.
Well, we are
But
talking
you know,
about 2 people that
I'm
went through the
guessing
mind of
you're
Bray
about my
Wyatt for
age.
movies.
That's why I asked. I figured
I
we're
get a
probably
lot of
about
like
my age.
I've been with my brother who's 10 years older than me, and people think I'm his dad. So I like to just leave that kind of mystery out there. Look at Joel Pearl doing like the catch pop, like, oh, I'm not gonna laugh, but wow, that was embarrassing. Let me laugh behind my hand.
The only thing I could guess is probably if I had to shoot a guess on your age, Joe, it would be 28.
Fair guess. I will not respond because I'm kayfabing the gimmick.
I figured that
Commitment,
we're
I appreciate
probably
it.
about the same age. So that's why it's always funny when Jeremy calls me old, because he's older than
You call
I am.
yourself old.
Well, it looks like Jeremy got bullied on Twitter today.
Everyone bullies me on
He
Twitter.
needs to be bullied on Twitter.
Especially Ricky.
It's very sad. Ricky's calling me the police.
You are the police, Jeremy Lambert.
Can't
You
stand that
freaking
guy.
tried to set me up with Louis again.
Yeah, so
He's like
We're just
14.
After you.
Who? What's happening?
Wow,
Where?
Louis Dangor being called he's
Oh,
14.
him.
Holy
Okay.
wow.
He's barely older than 14.
He just turned 21, I think.
I'm
20.
sorry.
And the mustache
Right?
is coming in slowly.
If I stood next to him, people would think I was his grandfather. 100% true.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Oh god.
This is gonna be a long night.
I got nowhere else to go.
Gonna be throwback. I've been here for an hour and 50 minutes. It's been a long
Yeah,
night.
I know. You and me have been chilling. This is awesome.
It's about Louis Dangle at 3 a.m. My God. Fuck.
Well, why don't you? I cut you out early, considering you probably gonna get some sleep.
It's fine. It's just I like Louis. I was only messing, but he's a very young brother, right? Looks like a young hoot. He can't do the kayfabe gimmick. If he kayfabes a bit, he'd be like, "Are you of age?"
Yeah,
Are you
exactly.
Different gimmick altogether. You see.
Is he like of age to drink, like 21 and stuff? Yeah. I mean,
Well, it's younger over there, isn't it?
Yeah, he's 20. Yeah, Louis 20. The
It's
age over there is
18
like
over
18.
How old is he in
KFC
wrestling
for the
years?
first time.
Oh, Louis is still young in wrestling years.
He had never had KFC before like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, that was the gimmick.
Why?
I don't know.
What?
And then he ate cold KFC on air that he'd sat with for like 6 hours and got sick.
Yeah.
really? Wow.
Louis is not very smart.
Whoa, brother.
Clip that. Use it for
Hi,
later.
sweetheart.
That's my fellow Brit you're talking about right there. I got to rip Louis.
Yeah, but none of y'all are really good outside of you. Like I don't really get along with any of them.
I mean, there's no way I'm gonna argue that point. Yeah, sure, I agree.
Well, you gotta give DK his props for asking.
No. I already did it once today. Go watch the other podcast.
Yeah, clip the other podcast, DK.
I was really scared I was gonna like bust out the mic. So I was like, I don't want to do this. He came down here because you came down here. Both of you can take your butts upstairs.
Parenting.
Yeah, things I wish I could do right now.
Go to bed. Oh yeah, Camden had to bring this
Of
over
course,
because he heard Ric Flair, so he had to bring Ric Flair's old ass over here.
I'm glad you pointed out to me that I could legitimately be 12 years old and have seen Ric Flair. I didn't really think about it. Should have thought about it. Good point.
Well, hey, I mean,
Okay.
seeing Ric Flair that young, that would probably be pretty interesting. Who's this guy with that's freaking dyed hair blonde?
Well, I mean, when
Jesse
we were
Ventura?
12,
Yeah, I remember that guy.
when we were 12, Ric Flair was like retiring. So
Oh God, I'm the oldest one on here. God help me.
Maybe. You may not be, because I've said 20s, but there are going to be people out there that think I'm 60. Someone's tweeted me before. You remember when NWA pretended they were going to be a wrestling promotion again? And,
that was yesterday. Oh no, that was
that tonight. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Someone was like, I like it. Like, you're an old school fan. Do you know what I mean? Like, you've seen it. I was like,
I love the rasp in your voice as you do that.
I was in the Carolinas, watching Arn played in the War Games. I was like, yeah, sure, man, whatever.
Oh man. Well, anyways, might as well cut this short because that way everybody could relax and stuff.
Cut it short. We've gone 2 hours here.
Yeah, I mean,
This is a marathon, brother.
Yeah.
I thought we were going to go until Chris Bay and Willie Mack finishes.
Okay, well, the round table's generally been going 2.5 hours, so I mean, if you want to go up to
Christmas wrestling,
if you want to go Quizlemania time, we got another hour to go.
No one needs a wrestling.
Yeah, now they make you donate an ultra chat to get read on the air because they realize how fucking insane they were.
Yes,
Yeah,
Evan Wright, Ricky Starks, and Eddie Kingston used to work for the NWA. One of them was good.
Well, Joel Pearl's nemesis puts an interesting thing.
Ron is trying to sell Van Vliet and Sam Roberts a Point God shirt on Twitter as we speak. Bless this man.
Why those two?
Absolutely bless this man.
I need to see not Sam reply to that shit.
Those two, because they did
a
podcasts together.
a
this
small
week.
one so that he can show off his muscles. He wears
What,
shirts that are
his
like my size.
muscles?
His muscles.
Sure.
Ron is an insane man.
His beard is bigger than his muscles.
People are insane nowadays, anyways, with COVID. Jeez. Anyways.
Why are you screaming? Knock it off!
Oh my God.
Now they're crying.
Oh my God.
My
All
dad
right,
says
so
Lee tried to get in Camden's bed and Camden threw him to the floor.
Your kids are
tag team
shooters.
future.
Saying,
So-
ouchie.
Those kids are the next Young Bucks.
Say that.
Hardys.
Veiled
Mark my
insult from
words.
Joel Pearl.
The next
What an
Hardys.
insult.
All right, so we'll wrap it up since we've been on for almost 2 hours now. Joe, tell them where they can find you.
I don't want them to find me. Stay away from me. I've already revealed
Stay
too much on
away.
here. Stay away from me, okay? If you come across the Distraction podcast, follow Jeremy and don't ask anything about my age, where I live, what I do, where I am, anything.
What you do?
Anything. No questions. Ignore me. In fact, mute the video when I'm talking. I don't want anything. Stay away. Okay? I changed my brand. I try to be a professional. Jeremy told me it got me heat. No more. No more branding for me. I am the man that Jeremy talks to on Tuesdays and Thursdays on Fightful. That's all.
All right,
Not
Mr.
even gonna turn
Pearl.
on his camera anymore.
I'm the man who Jeremy
broken.
talks to on Saturdays on Fightful.
I'm nobody.
You're Reddit famous, bro. Did
That's right.
I had another headline on Reddit this week.
you
Oh,
get
man.
dunked on?
God.
Probably. I don't read Reddit.
Good call.
Go to timandjoelpod.com. Subscribe to the damn channel. It's pretty easy. Tim and Joel
Do
call
it.
it in the ring. That is the show. Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern. I love you guys for that.
They call it in
Yeah.
the ring because they're old school guys. They respect the business.
Thank you. And it's
It's
not
business.
because we couldn't find an original name.
All right, Jeremy, tell them where they can find you or look for you.
I don't know.
He really doesn't know.
With the ball in his hands at half court, baby.
Jeremy's
Running
at that
the
point.
offense every day, just running the offense. That's where you can find me.
Jeremy's at that point where he gets lost putting on a pair of pants.
Oh, great. Is he going to be like Rob with OnlyFans?
I'm not ever going to be on OnlyFans. No one would pay for that anyway. Why would I do that?
Well, I mean, there are probably people out there that would do like Russ Ryan feet freaking things.
No, you can check my fleets for my feets.
That works.
True, he did do that gimmick. That's the thing he did.
And Hannah, obviously, Queen Hannah. I want to say thank you for being a contributor to the show. DK, if you're in the chat, you too, and Rob for everything. These guys are amazing. Check everything they do. The Distraction, Tuesdays and Thursdays. Check out all the stuff they do. Joe, thank you for staying up, man. Get you on again soon. Other than that, check out, Sisters Custom Designs, links on below. Check out Saturday while these three darlings are going to be playing video games and destroying people during the chat. That was interesting, especially the Taylor Swift comment I put out there.
I don't remember any of this stuff, right?
Oh, the Taylor Swift thing or about the documentary on Disney Plus?
I don't know. Wrap the show
Get him
up.
off the air.
Hit the bell, subscribe, and tap for notifications. Check out all the Fightful stuff. Check these guys out. Do a good deed, pay it forward, guys. Have a good one.